Hey guys, what's up? It's time to do a speed test comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A56 5G versus the Vivo V50, and the Vivo is powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 SoC with the 12 GB of RAM on the Vivo V50, while on the Samsung we have new Samsung Exynos the 1580 SoC with 8 GB of RAM. So on the back we have dual cameras on the Vivo versus the triple cameras on the Samsung A56, and the back of the Samsung it is made up of glass, while on the Vivo we have plastic back, and the frame it is made up of aluminium on the Samsung, while Vivo has a plastic frame. So very interesting to see how both phones is gonna perform in the head-to-head speed test. Let's start off with the boot up. So logos came up at the same time on both phones, and both phones is running on latest Android 15. We have Samsung One UI 7 based on Android 15, while Vivo is running on Vivo FunTouch OS version 15. So the Galaxy A56 it is much faster when it comes to booting up, while the Vivo now it is also done. So you can see we almost have a 2 or 3 second difference between these two devices when it comes to booting up. And now let's talk about the display. So on the Samsung we have beautiful looking 6.7-inch Full HD Plus Super AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate. Also we have our center punch hole on the top, while on the Vivo we also have 6.7-inch Full HD Plus AMOLED with 120Hz refresh rate. Also we have our center punch hole, and this one has a quad curved AMOLED display. So all the sides it is slightly curved on the Vivo V50 as compared to the Samsung. Also the bottom chin it is slightly smaller on the Vivo V50. Everything's closed up in the background, no application is running in the background. Also we have same Wi-Fi network. So let's opening up the phone dialer, much faster on the Samsung. Also we have really smooth animations. So next on the list is the settings, and slightly faster I think on the Vivo V50. We also have a lot of AI features on both phones which you find instead the advanced options on the Samsung. So let's go to the display and let me show the refresh rate option. So we have adaptive 120Hz versus a fixed 120Hz that I use on the Vivo, because auto option on the Vivo it is not really optimized. So now check out some more apps like Amazon Shopping on both phones. Amazon Shopping it is slightly faster on the Vivo V50, followed by the Samsung A56. Scrolling it feels really smooth on both phones. We have 120Hz. Let's open this desktop tab, looking really similar once again. So now check out some games application. Now let's start off with the Candy Crush Saga. Slightly faster on the Samsung A56 5G, followed by the Vivo. Instagram faster on the Samsung. Let's open out. Much faster on the Samsung once again. Snapchat faster once again. Spotify, and that one it is slightly quick on the Vivo. Let's opening up the Subway Surfer, another game. Qualcomm Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 versus Exynos 1580. So both phones is open this game at the same time. Also on the display it looks more vibrant on the Vivo by default, but you can change that inside the settings on the A56. You can increase the vibrance. So let's opening up the Temper N2. And Temper N2 it is slightly faster on the Samsung A56 this time over the Vivo V50, and the more punchier display on the Vivo looks more better I would say. Now let's opening up the PUBG Mobile, last game we have in this speed test. Exynos 1580 on the left hand side versus a Snapdragon 7 Gen 3 on the right hand side. So Samsung it is slightly faster as compared to the Vivo. Also in that game we have smooth graphics with extreme frame rate on both phones. So now let's open up X on both phones. Slightly quick on the Samsung. Zedge slightly quick on the Samsung. Let's see the scrolling. Scrolling it feels really smooth on both phones. 120Hz it is I think only working on the Samsung, while on the Vivo it is on 60 Hz, but you can change that inside the display refresh rate settings. So last I'm launching the cameras on both phones. Default camera application. So camera it is open up at the same time, especially in this lighting condition. Let me show you how both phones looks like. So according to my eyes, the colors looks more better overall on the Samsung. So let's look at the front facing camera. So on the Vivo we have 50 megapixel, which is also looks more wider, also more better overall than the Samsung. Now let's see internet browsing speed. So I am using Chrome. I am using Samsung internet browser on the Samsung versus Chrome on the Vivo. So let's opening up the wikipedia.org. So exactly the same. Scrolling it is really smooth. Same thing zooming out. Now let's open this English tab. Once again looking really similar as well. So next on the list is the apple.com. And apple.com it is slightly faster on the A56 5G, followed by the Vivo V50. Scrolling it is once again really smooth on both phones, no hiccups, anything like that. So now let's see RAM measurement. So we have 8GB of RAM on the Samsung versus a 12GB on the Vivo. Let's start off with the phone dialer, still there. Settings, Amazon shopping, Candy Crush Saga, still there. Instagram, still there. Let's see pin out, still there. Snapchat, Spotify, Subway Surfer, that is still there. Temper N2, PUBG it is still there. Open up X, Zedge. Last back to the internet browser. So excellent RAM measurement we have on both phones, although in terms of the apps opening speed slightly faster on the Samsung, I think because of the animation, although in some games Samsung also it is slightly faster than the Vivo V50. So in terms of the RAM measurement it is excellent on both phones. Also on the Samsung we only have 5000 mAh battery size with the 45 watt super fast charging support, no charger in the box, while Vivo has 6500 mAh battery size with the 90 watt super fast charging. And thanks so much for watching this speed test comparison between the Samsung A56 5G versus the Vivo V50, and do let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.